It's a Lamborghini.
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How long did you have that Lamborghini? Do you remember?
Not long.
Do you know who the most feared boxer is? If you were to ask anybody, everyone would have the same answer: Mike Tyson. This guy was one of the most famous boxers of all time. His life outside the ring has been just as crazy and over the top as his fights used to be. Tyson made an absolute fortune during his boxing career. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, and boy, did he ever spend that money lavishly. From humble beginnings in Brooklyn, Tyson went on to own multiple mansions, luxury cars, pet tigers, and all that kinds of wild stuff. Mike Tyson is an American professional former boxer and actor/producer. He was born Michael Gerard Tyson on June 30, 1966 in Brooklyn, New York City. Tyson competed from 1985 to 2005 and became the youngest heavyweight boxing champion in history. Needless to say, Mike Tyson's life has been one wild ride. Fame, fortune, controversy. That guy has seen it all. The baddest man on the planet left his mark in ways beyond just boxing. His mansions alone are enough to drop your jaw. Through the years, Iron Mike spared no expense in living the high life, blowing millions on houses fit for a king. We're talking the most lavish, over-the-top pads that scream, "I've made it," louder than anything. Of course, when the tough times rolled around, Tyson had to kiss most of those insane mansions goodbye. From his humble Brooklyn beginnings to the wild Ohio crib-turned-church, Mike's journey had more twists than his legendary fights. Speaking of that Ohio mansion, have you seen its pictures? A 33,000 square foot space with 5 bedrooms, a full-size pool, basketball court, and get this, tiger cages. He proclaimed himself the baddest man on the planet, and this place was his proof. Tyson dropped $1.3 million on it back in '89 when the money was pouring in, but after his assault conviction in '92 and prison stint, the cash well ran dry. He had to sell it off in '99 to get an infomercial mogul. That sacred den is now an actual church. An investor donated it, tiger cages and all, to a church group that slapped down 50 grand for the back taxes. So instead of parties, those palace walls now echo biblical verses. Crazy how life works, right? In Connecticut, he had another gigantic 52-room mansion on 50,000 square feet of land. It was made for entertainment. It had 21 bedrooms, 25 bathrooms, an indoor pool, basketball courts, game rooms, a nightclub, a recording studio, the whole 9 yards. A total fantasy party paradise. But maintaining all of that was extremely costly, like $50,000 per month. So when Tyson went bankrupt in 2003, he had to sell it. The rapper 50 Cent bought it for $4.4 million, but he couldn't keep up with the expenses over time. It eventually sold again in 2019 for just $2.9 million to a business person. Then Tyson had a Maryland mansion too, right on a famous elite golf course. It is 19,000 square feet, has 7 bedrooms, 11 baths, fancy views, its own piano room, sauna, gym, and pool. The definition of luxury living. He and his ex-wife Monica bought it in 1995 when money was no issue. But after their divorce in 2000s, Monica just said goodbye to the massive place and sold it for $4.6 million. It was way too much house for one person. Tyson was all about having outrageously large, expensive houses and mansions fitting for a superstar athlete. That definitely explains how he blew through fortune so quickly with that kind of lifestyle. Mike Tyson had more crazy and fancy houses in Las Vegas too. First, there was his famous Seven Hills mansion, which was actually in the movie The Hangover. This huge Italian-style house was over 5,000 square feet and had 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, but the best part was outside. It had its own 18-hole golf course, basketball and tennis courts, football fields, a massive infinity pool with waterfalls, and tons of patio and barbecue space. It was like your own personal resort. Tyson ended up selling that insane party mansion in 2016. But get this, he didn't move far at all. He just went down the street and bought another massive house in the same luxurious Seven Hills neighborhood for $2.5 million. He must have really liked that area. This new house is 10,400 square feet with 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 2 huge master suites, a media room, a wine cellar, a living room, a dining room, and another beautiful pool area. Still just as fancy as his old hangover house. Whether it was the first famous mansion or the new one nearby, Tyson definitely loved living large in Las Vegas with these over-the-top, super expensive houses that had basically every amenity you could imagine. When you're a superstar athlete like Mike Tyson, you can afford incredible homes just like that. So by now we know Tyson went all out on the huge mansions and cribs, but his love for the finer things in life didn't stop there. The guy also loved some sweet rides. His very first big purchase was way back in the mid-80s after going on that insane 19-fight knockout streak. a 1985 Cadillac Eldorado, which cost about $30,000 back then. For a fresh-faced 20-something, that caddy was the ultimate status symbol of making it big. But of course, as Tyson's fame and fortune grew, so did his need for even more luxurious cars. For his 21st birthday, he treated himself to the king of all luxury vehicles, a Rolls-Royce Silver Spur limousine. We're talking about top-of-the-line, built for royalty-type wheels. Tyson was the undisputed heavyweight champ of the world at that point, so why not roll around like the boxing king he was? That Rolls was fully loaded too. Fancy wood trim, premium leather, all the bells and whistles. Then in 1987, after winning the IBF title, guess what lavish right Iron Mike rewarded himself with? Another Rolls, this time the Corniche model. Clearly, he really dug those stately, ultra-luxurious cars. As his Hollywood profile exploded in the late 80s, Tyson also went crazy for Mercedes rides, thanks to his buddy Tupac. He scooped up a $48,000 Mercedes SL 560 Roadster in '89, only the best for the baddest man on the planet. And being the adrenaline junkie he was, Tyson even indulged in an outrageous Ferrari F50 supercar with over 500 horsepower and a 202 miles per hour top speed. He reportedly got arrested once while driving that Ferrari too, which he called his favorite arrest, just Tyson being Tyson. In addition to the Rolls-Royce and Mercedes rides Tyson loved, the guy also bought some seriously exotic and rare supercars. He was one of the only folks besides the ultra-wealthy Sultan of Brunei himself to own the stunning Ferrari 456 GT Spider. This sleek beauty, designed by the legendary Pininfarina, could hit almost 190 miles per hour and go 0 to 60 in 5 seconds flat. When regular dream cars don't cut it, get the same set of wheels as royalty. In 1996, after his good friend Tupac was tragically killed, Tyson tried to cheer himself up by buying an insanely rare $500,000 Lamborghini Diablo after a Vegas fight win. We're talking about only 7 of these 750 horsepower, 220 plus miles per hour twin-turbo monsters that were ever produced. Talk about an intense way to cope with grief. Even getting demolished by Evander Holyfield didn't stop Tyson's spending sprees. Despite losing that huge heavyweight fight, he still pocketed $25 million, which he promptly reinvested in more exotic metal like the Jaguar XJ220 supercar that could hit 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds. Tyson's love for the finer four-wheel things also extended to ultra-rare luxury like the Bentley Continental SC. Only 73 examples of this $300,000 Grand Tourer were made, combining Bentley's signature premium luxury with a beastly 400 horsepower performance punch. Unfortunately, all those legal troubles and extreme spending did eventually catch up with Iron Mike. He filed for bankruptcy in 2003 and was forced to sell off his incredible classic and exotic car collection piece by piece at high-end auctions. Still, you have to admire the sheer ambition and appetite for the best vehicles money could buy back in Tyson's prime. From domestic muscle to European luxury cruisers to limited supercars, his garage was like a playground of every gearhead's wildest dreams. So we know Mike Tyson went absolutely over the top with his spending on insane mansions and luxury cars when he was at the peak of his fame and fortune, but some of his purchases were just completely ridiculous and made no practical sense whatsoever. The perfect example is the infamous solid gold bathtub. Yes, you heard that right. Tyson spent about $2.2 million on a bathtub made entirely out of 24-karat gold. From what's been said, he bought this outrageously expensive golden tub as a gift to his ex-wife to have at one of his mega mansion homes. Just let that sink in. A solid gold bathtub that could literally buy you multiple brand new luxury vehicles instead. But when you're boxing heavyweights, king of the world with more money than you know what to do with, why not indulge in something as impractical and over the top as bathing in pure gold? The golden tub is really just the prime example of how Tyson would wildly blow his fortune on the craziest stuff imaginable back in his prime. When buying up giant mansions and ultra-rare custom cars made sense as status symbols, the golden bathtub purchase is just a ridiculous waste of money that came with Tyson's immense boxing stardom and wealth. What would you do if you had the money to do it all? Let us know in the comments section. Like and subscribe for more engaging content. Until next time.